on Friday night when I put this man to sleep. So that is pretty dope.
This is not going to come true, young man. I think he thinks this is going to be a very easy night. It's not going to be an easy night.
Heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
Allowing Mike Tyson to trap him in the corner.
Should be hanging on. Now with the right hand, the left hand. He's going to hang on. Or they'll stop the fight.
Punch.
A straight right hand. Down goes both up.
Social media star turned boxer is about to step into the ring for 16 minutes with a man old enough to be his father.
Do you think the age difference plays a big role in the outcome of the fight?
No, I think Mike is a killer at any age.
The former heavyweight world champion. At 27, Paul set the face off in a sanctioned bout against the legendary Iron Mike, now 58. If that sounds bizarre, welcome to boxing in the 21st century. Paul stepped into the ring in 2018, largely as a publicity stunt. But since then, he's built a 10-1 record, mostly taking on former MMA fighters and lower-level boxers.
Just steps to the...
Hardcore boxing fans hoping each time to see him finally meet his match and get obliterated. But Paul has managed to keep his streak alive so far. Will he last against Tyson, avoiding annihilation, or is this where his streak finally comes to an end? Stick around and find out.
What kind of mindset do you take into this fight?
I'm going in there with bad intentions. My intention is to hurt this young man.
If you've been a boxing fan for a while, you'll know there was once upon a time when Jake Paul wouldn't have dared to pull a stunt like this. Back when Mike Tyson was in his prime, around 40 years ago, Tyson was a force. He was a simple, raw being focused solely on one thing: destruction.
If they can find some fights, then...
Here's a combination uppercut by Tyson. Laying it on, pouring it on. Down goes Bruno.
Mike Tyson in his prime, in those years from like where he was just storming the gates, I put that Mike Tyson up against anybody who ever lived.
Watching him fight was like staring straight into a wildfire. There was something fierce and primal in his presence, almost hypnotic. He didn't just intimidate his opponents. He got into their heads so that half the fight was over before the first bell rang. His sheer power and unrelenting ferocity displays an instinctual need to conquer or be conquered. Today, of course, Tyson's more of an enigma. While his raw aggression has softened over time, he's still regarded as one of the sport's most deadly talents, holding the title as boxing's youngest ever heavyweight champion. During those days, he was feared not just for his knockouts, but for psychological warfare. When Tyson entered the ring, his aura alone would be enough to make opponents doubt their chances. His reputation as the most brutal, the most vicious, the most ruthless champion still stands.
There's no fighter like me. I was reading today, there was some fighters in the papers quoting, I don't like Mike Tyson because he's too cocky and he's arrogant. But for all the fighters that said that, you know what I mean, I let them know, there's no fighter like me and I can beat any man in the world.
Jake Paul, while newer to the boxing world, has managed to carve out a respectable record for himself, winning 10 out of his 11 fights. His only loss came from Tommy Fury in February of 2023 in a close split decision. But despite his improving record, Paul has faced plenty of criticism for the level of competition he's chosen.
Are you impressed? Does he have boxing ability? Or is he just an entertainer who has a lot of fans and can promote a fight and has fought lesser opponents? Or is he actually talented?
As long as he continues to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good.
Many of his opponents have been former MMA fighters like Nate Diaz, Mike Perry, and Anderson Silva, fighters who weren't exactly seasoned boxers. Still, he has shown flashes of power and skill, scoring knockout victories like his first-round KO against Andre August in 2023 and his second-round knockout of Nate Robinson in 2020. Although Paul is yet to face a top-tier boxer in their prime, he's proved that he can hang with the pros from various backgrounds. But now, stepping into the ring with Tyson for a full 16 minutes, Paul is about to face something altogether different. For anyone who said Jake Paul has never fought a real boxer, well, here he is, up against the boxer, the youngest heavyweight champion in history, the former undisputed champion, the man known as Iron Mike. Tyson, at just 20, became the youngest boxer ever to win a heavyweight title after knocking out Trevor Berbick.
Mike Tyson. Tyson goes to work right away, and he's getting forever in
He was the first heavyweight to hold the WBA, WBC, and IBF titles simultaneously and unified them back-to-back. Tyson's legacy is filled with legendary bouts, facing icons like Larry Holmes, Michael Spinks, James the Buster Douglas, Evander Holyfield, and Lennox Lewis. His spot in the International Boxing Hall of Fame is more than deserved. Now 58, Tyson's age may show in certain ways, but his mentality hasn't changed. He's claimed that he doesn't feel 58, and he's enjoying sparring younger athletes in the gym. Tyson's stepping into the ring with something to prove, that he's still, even now, the baddest man on the planet. But the most obvious edge belongs to Paul, who's nearly 30 years younger. Tyson officially hung up his gloves in 2005, while Jake Paul has been on an active run facing off against fighters like Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva, Nate Diaz, and Mike Perry. And while Tyson has spent much of his retirement searching for peace and distance from his once unforgiving intense persona, boxing fans are hoping that for 16 minutes, 8 intense 2-minute rounds, he'll bring back a taste of his former fury. And it just might be possible. There's no denying Tyson's experience and devastating power, though Jake Paul has proven his own punching prowess by dropping tough opponents like Mike Perry in multiple rounds, flooring Nate Diaz in the 5th, and taking out Silva in the 8th. Tyson's knockout history is on a different level altogether. Jake Paul has shown that he can bang, but Tyson's career as a knockout artist is legendary. Tyson didn't just beat his opponents, he demolished them. Remember his 1986 bout against Marvis Frazier? That fight lasted only 30 seconds.
Uppercut, and Marvis is hurt. Frazier is down.
This is the Marvis Frazier fight. He was bobbing and weaving. He was already short for a heavyweight, but he would get low and he would come at you. And look at those shots. Look at he puts him away. He's throwing things from his toes all the way up. The Tyson of that year, those years when he was like the Marvis Frazier years and the Larry Holmes years, he was a different guy, a fucking destroyer, man, where every fight was an execution.
It was, as Joe Rogan once said, an execution. There's a reason Tyson still holds the record for the most first-round finishes among heavyweights, with 24 to his name, more than double Jake Paul's entire fight record. Watching Tyson unleash his signature body shot followed by an uppercut was watching boxing in its purest and most powerful form. But does he still have that knockout touch? Or have we lost the ferocious fighter who could stop a man in seconds? Maybe or maybe not. It's hard to ignore that Tyson is, after all, still Tyson. Recent footage shows him training hard with the coach Rafael Cordero, sparring with younger athletes, and still landing heavy blows. The sharpness, the power, it's all still there. Enough to outclass most 20-year-olds today. Of course, Tyson may not be able to fully match the advantage of Jake's youth, but we're not sure there's a lot Paul can do to keep Tyson from relentlessly moving forward and throwing his notorious bombs. Tyson's hits comes from something deeper, a primal drive to destroy. Whether he's 20 or 60, Mike Tyson remains a fierce, terrifying force, and when it comes to raw power, Tyson holds the crown. Second, Tyson's mastery of mental warfare has long set him apart. Whenever he laces up his gloves, it's never just a fight, it's a mission. An all-or-nothing drive to either dominate or be destroyed. This kill or be killed mindset has given Tyson a profound edge over countless opponents. Think back to 1995, where he was asked about his upcoming fight with Peter McNeely. Tyson called him cute, then went out to obliterate McNeely in a mere 90 seconds.
And McNeely, as advertised, comes right at Mike Tyson. Down goes McNeely. Oh, Tyson with a left hook, a right uppercut. Down goes McNeely.
Now at nearly 60, Tyson's raw intensity might be toned down, but stepping into the ring with him, even today, will be a unique test for Jake Paul. Imagine what Jake Paul would feel like to glance across the ring and see the former heavyweight champion bobbing, weaving, fists clenched, eyes locked in that iconic death stare. Tyson's mental strength is a kind of aura that few, if any, can truly rival. Additionally, Tyson's boxing IQ is an unmatched edge. Tyson's knowledge of the sport is leagues ahead of Jake Paul's. As Joe Rogan once remarked, Tyson has forgotten more about boxing than Jake Paul has ever known. Still, it would be unwise to dismiss Paul's potential just yet. Jake Paul has honed his fundamentals. His jab is sharp, his footwork precise, his defensive instincts solid, and he manages his energy with a maturity beyond his years. He's demonstrated patience and speed, and his overhand right has become a signature move. Paul's style is grounded in counterpunching, and when he finds his moment, he packs a serious punch. But Tyson's fighting style is anything but conventional. Known for his peekaboo approach, he brings a tight stance, high guard, and unreal explosiveness. This aggressive, pressure-focused style has helped him dominate opponents, specifically those with heightened reach advantages like Jake's. If Tyson closes the distance, he has the power to overwhelm Paul with a knockout combination. That said, Paul's youth and mid to long range style could serve him well. He stands 3 inches taller than Tyson and enjoys a 5-inch reach advantage. However, Tyson's experience is a level of challenge Paul has never faced before. This fight, unlike any other, will put Jake's skills to the ultimate test. So while the odds favor a Jake-Paul victory by knockout, given Tyson's age and time away from the professional competition, we're leaning towards a different stance. Yeah, there are factors that bring this fight closer to even ground: shorter rounds, heavier gloves, and of course the age difference. But Tyson has shown that he's not one to let his legendary legacy be tarnished. Even at 58, we believe he'll step into the ring with his trademark aggression, moving forward with relentless pressure and hard-hitting punches that could overwhelm Paul. Tyson is still Tyson, a unique, once-in-a-generation fighter with a wellspring of experience and boxing intelligence in his every move. He remains a heavy hitter, and if his age wasn't a factor, he'd be a clear favorite. Like Muhammad Ali once urged, get him for me. This time, fans around the world are echoing that sentiment. Get him for us, Mike. So what's your take? Who do you think would come out best? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and make sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on future videos.